If it feels like Congress is doing nothing, it's because they are. There's no imagination here. They're doing nothing. Last year, Congress passed fewer bills than ever before, and one of the main reasons is the refusal of the two parties to work together. It is the most divided politics in American history, and this Congress is doing less in American history than have ever been done. I've got Farron Cousins to talk about this with me. Farron, what do you think?
This is not surprising at all. I mean, look, we were at the point where in a span of 10 months, we almost had 5 government shutdowns because Congress was so incompetent and so incapable of working with each other that they couldn't even pass just regular let's keep working budget bills. So because you can't even get past a budget, let alone try to work on something like another infrastructure package or revamping healthcare or literally anything, because they can't even do the basic fundamental job that they have of passing a damn budget every year.
Yeah, did you just say in less than 6 months it's happened 8 times?
Well, it was 10 months, 5 times.
Okay, 10 months, 5 times. Either way.
So every other month, we're on the verge of a shutdown.
That is way crazy. So they were successful in passing a record level, low level, dysfunctional, disgusting low level of 27 bills. It's the lowest in American history, right?
Yeah. Usually every year, Congress will pass hundreds of pieces of legislation, or at least they had in the past. And some of those are minor. They're, let's pass a quick resolution to do this. Let's do a quick resolution naming this day, Mike Papantonio Day. But we can't even do that anymore. 27 pieces of legislation. And when you're looking at a group of people that only work about 150 days a year, it's insane how little is getting done. And like you said, it's getting worse. We've done even less this year than we had by this point last year. And it is, you've got political scientists looking at this, you've got historians looking at it, and they've all kind of come to the conclusion the number one factor is these people hate each other so much, they won't even talk to each other anymore.
Actually, what's so amazing about it is most of these folks don't have to work.
Right.
We've got a Congress that has, as far as people who had to work for a living, labor, people, what did we did a story on this a couple of weeks ago? Was it 3% or 8%, something like that?
It's insane. It's in the single digits.
Single digits of people that actually had to work for a living. So these people, our Congress that we have, well, they might not have started out like that, but they're multimillionaires because of insider trading, because of all the scams they're running. I mean, these are stories we've done. Well, I'm just saying this. We've done several stories about the insider trading, how somebody has started off and they got $100,000 in the bank, and within a couple of years, they've got $10 million in the bank. So they don't have to work. So what they do is, what is it? They go home on Thursdays, right?
Usually, yes.
Tell us, in other words, no matter what's pending, they're going to go home on Thursdays and come back Monday, supposedly, right?
Right. Congress is technically in session 3 days a week. Okay, 7-day week, Congress has to be there for 3. They show up Monday evening. Sometimes they'll do a couple of votes Monday evening. They'll work a full day Tuesday, Wednesday, about a half day Thursday. Then everybody flies home. Now, sometimes when you got a busy week, they don't get to fly home until like Friday morning. So those are the really rough weeks when you only get a 3.5-day weekend. But they just took for Easter their 2-week vacation. We don't get that. Even kids in school don't get a full 2 weeks for spring break. They take most of the month of August off. They take summer breaks, a month at Christmas. It's insane how much time off these people take and deny us any kind of federally mandated leave.
They don't go home because they have to work, because like I said, they don't have to work. The numbers are staggering. When the statistics are amazing, the number of people that really have to work in Congress. So what they do is they airdrop in. Okay, they're airdrop in just in time for the C-SPAN segment, right? They're standing in an empty room. If you get the impression that they're talking to nobody, it's because they are. They're talking to nobody. But they step in for 10 minutes, they airdrop in, and they do this show for us to make it look like, oh my God, they're still at it. It's 10 o'clock at night. Well, they hadn't done anything all day. It's 10 o'clock at night. You think, what a hard worker, right?
Right. And a lot of people think, oh, well, they have to go back to their districts because they man their district offices. They're doing campaigning. But studies have also shown us that the amount of time federal lawmakers are actually spending in their local offices has dwindled down to virtually nothing in recent years. So no, they're not actually working in their local offices. They may pop into a little local restaurant, shake a couple hands, smile for the camera, and get on local news, but they're gone in 10 minutes, off to do whatever the heck they want to do.
Fundraiser.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're not working. And again, it cannot be understated enough. They won't even talk to each other if they're not a member of their party. Yeah. And now we've got both parties just at each other's throats in their own party.
There are no more statesmen.
No.
There are no more statesmen.
It's a bunch of children.
It's like kids. It's same. We see it, don't we? We see it with what we do for a living, just on people that go crazy when we try to say something that they disagree with. They go nuts. Didn't used to be like that. You and I have been doing this for over 20 years, right? We started all the way back to the Air America days, where you could have a conversation and people didn't go nuts. That's not the case anymore, but you would expect better in Washington.
Yep.
You may not realize it, but you're consuming microplastics every single day. It doesn't matter how clean your diet is. These tiny particles are everywhere, including your brain. And we're only just learning about the dangers they pose because the industry's kept it quiet for so long, right?
Yeah, we have just so far this year have had about half a dozen new studies come out about microplastics, nanoplastics, and all these other plastic fibers. Mm-hmm. And each study has looked at a different part. We had one study that looked at bottled waters, and they found out, hey, wait a minute, every bottled water we tested had microplastics, mm-hmm. a ridiculous, dangerous amount. Every vegetable we tested, you got microplastics. Every piece of meat, every, store cereal, and whatever it is on the grocery store shelves, they're telling us about 99% of them have levels of microplastics that would make you ill if you even knew the numbers. That's how bad this problem is.
We consume almost 12,000 microplastics every year going into our body. Matter of fact, you talked about bottled water. Just to put in perspective, you're talking about 370,000 plastic particles that we find in water. Then when they tested, they found 370,000 plastic particles. Well, this doesn't just move through your system. As a matter of fact, what it does is it migrates through your system. In a way, it can migrate systemically through your blood. It can actually cross through the blood-brain barrier and end up in your brain, and that's what's happening. And you have, from a gastrointestinal problem, it actually moves through the lining of your gut and sets there in the lining for your life. There's no way to get rid of it, you see. That's people, well, I can chelate my system and everything's going to be okay, or maybe I'll stop drinking now, or bottled water, and I'm going to be, no, you're not. It's there. And the worst thing about it is they've known about this for a long time, and they kept it real quiet.
Yeah, they did. And listen, people could try to say, okay, well, I'm only going to eat organic. I'm not going to go to these places that have, horrible factory farm practices, which is great, by the way, but you're not going to get away from the microplastics because, another study found out it's in the rainwater.
Yeah.
So unless you can, eat food that is 100% not produced anywhere in the environment,
right,
you're consuming these plastics.
Farron, explain to them why it's in the rainwater. It's taken up into the clouds. Talk about that just a second.
Yeah, what we've got here is these fibers are actually so small that when you get this evaporation, because they're everywhere in the environment, they actually get evaporated with the clouds.
Right.
And you have a lot of it that goes up there not just through evaporation, but through actual pollution, fossil fuel pollution, a lot of their plastic production, which is what fossil fuel companies are also hugely involved in. Mm-hmm. And it's big clouds billowing up into the sky filled with these particles that rain down and we consume.
Let me put it in perspective how dangerous it is. Other than the fact we know now that it migrates through your entire body, including past your blood-brain barrier, which is supposed to be protection for your brain. Now, the problem is it has clear connection to high blood pressure, reproductive issues. Sometimes it's so severe that it will actually mimic early menopause, because what it does is it mimics estrogen. It mimics estrogen, and your system reacts. It disrupts your endocrine system. And so all of a sudden, these things are going sideways. And I'd like to say, we just found out about this. You and I did a story, a couple of years ago?
Right.
But the truth is, nobody talks about it. Again, go ahead and Google. Google the internet and find out how many times you have seen this done on corporate television. The reason why, do I have to finish the sentence? Why don't you finish it for me?
Obviously, we've got the big advertiser stuff. And of course, we also have a problem with the news consumers themselves, which we have found out over the years, because we talk about climate change a lot.
Big point. Talk about it.
And people just see, the environment's dying and we're basically killing off our own species. Yawn.
Move on.
Give me something more fiery. Talk about how this person said something stupid on Twitter. They don't care. People seem to really not care about the fact that you are being poisoned by corporate America. There is nothing you can do to avoid it. We can demand accountability and we can change it, but not if y'all just say, well, what can you do?
Just so you know, as you know, we do the big cases: tobacco, opioids, human trafficking, PFAS. I think we've done most of the major environmental cases in this country. We're already getting calls on this. We're taking a look at it, and there's no surprise here. The industry's known about this a long time. And so as I consider it, you hit it on the head. Give me something to get mad about that politician. Give me something to get mad about with that political party. But where it comes to give me something to think about to protect my health, like climate change. You want to kill the traffic on a site? Do a story on climate change. Yeah. You will destroy the traffic. They all say, oh, this is bad, we're all dying, but they don't even want to listen to the damn story. Same way here. Right. Exactly the same way here.